Alright, hello stream. Gonna be playing some more poker today. We are up to about 7 buy-ins now. We're plus 7 buy-ins. So 27 buy-ins in total. Working towards our goal of 60 buy-ins in order to move up stakes. And yeah, making some slow but steady progress. So I've been pretty happy. So we're gonna just keep cranking along at 2 cent, 5 cent, and try to win some money here. Okay. So we got, I guess we'll just wait until we are able to post in the next hand. Well, this is an interesting board just because I would imagine somebody has to have the flush here. Find out what happens. We just sat down at this table, so we don't have any information on any of our opponents yet. Only about 3 or 4 hands while we've been observing. And it looks like we do get a 6th player at the table, so that's nice. And yeah, we'll just play some kind of standard no surprises poker. I think in the small blind, a queen 7 is not really a limp, so we'll let it go. And it looks like the button does raise and takes it. I guess we weren't in the small blind, I don't know why. Oh, because I posted to get in early. Okay. So the idea is that once we get up to plus 10 big blinds, I may consider starting a multi-table. I'm kind of debating. My rules say right now to start multi-tabling at plus 10 big blinds for each stake. I'm kind of debating if that's been a little aggressive, so we'll see. See how it goes. It may be that I need to back off and wait until I'm at like plus 20 buy-ins to multi-table rather than plus 10. Yeah. Anyways, so low jack, we open up ace jack. It's actually kind of at the low end of our range here. So maybe, I think what I'm going to start doing is using our RNG and letting the RNG tell us if we should be basically playing kind of the edge of our range. So we'll just say if it's above 50 we play, if it's below 50 we don't, and we'll go from there. Looks like we get 1 caller though with our ace jack, and it is the small blind, so we are in position against everybody else. Gives us an advantage. We'll wait to see what player 6 does. He seems to be taking his time. Maybe he's just disconnected, probably. We get backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw.
Darling, do you want
I think we... I'm gonna check it. And we do get a 3rd club, so I'm gonna bet it. We'll just bet small, 50%. We do get called. This makes me a bit nervous. 2 pairs, I suspect that we have the winner. We're just gonna check through with ace high. Oh, and he takes it. Interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. I guess small blind. Oh, small blind calling? Yeah, okay. It's 5-5s. 5s is in a small blind calling range. That makes sense. The 5-4 offsuit though, we'll let it go. Okay. So we are planning on folding. We're just waiting. I think player 6 must have like internet issues or something. This is like the 2nd time he's timed out. Pretty annoying. All right. Okay. Gotta get our music ironed out here. Hopefully this will be a little better. Yeah, I mean, calling with fives is not actually in our range as a small blind, so if we were in his position, we would have folded with fives. He wins though. We're not gonna call queen five offsuit. We get button, we get jacks on the button. Certainly interesting. We're definitely going to play it. And we just take it. And now 2 people are out on our table, so we are definitely short-handed here. Player 2 is sitting out, it appears. Queen 7, and the button opens, and we are in big blind. We will call. And we get a pretty interesting hand. We do get a flush draw. We'll check to him. He was the original raiser. I think with a flush draw with 35%, we definitely call a pot odds of 20%. And we do get the flush, so we'll just check it back to him and see what he does. We also have a 10 jack queen. No, we would need 2 cards to get the straight flush there. I mean, I guess we just see if he wants to try and bluff or like catch our bluff. He thinks we're bluffing. He could have the ace or king of diamonds, in which case he has us beat. But instead he thinks we're bluffing and we take it, which is nice. That worked out. Old 7-4. You get one more player. All right. 10-6 on the cutoff. All right. I'm gonna go with RNG. RNG says to play it. Play it. No, we take it. Thank you, Mr. RNG. That worked out. 8 jack is not good enough. And the button min raises. There's been a lot of min raises here. Min raise is not supposed to be standard. A 3-bet or an RFI should be like 2.5 big blinds at a minimum. It's a little weird that he's just doing 2 big blinds, but he guess he just does not. I mean, that means that we can probably call a bit wider when we're facing 2 big blinds versus 3. We should probably try to keep that in mind. But for now, I don't think Jack 8 off is quite the wide call I had in mind. But that's alright. Oh wow. Red 9 versus King Queen. Alright, pair of 10s takes it. Huh. And now we are in the big blind. Oh, and we're just gonna take it. Okay. Now we have small blind with Queen 2. So Facing a raise from the cutoff. We definitely let this go. I have to remember that calling, like, calling an open in the small blind, it's actually pretty tight ranges. It's like when the button opens, your small blind opening range is still 13%. So 13.9, so I guess 14%, but still pretty tight. So that's like, it's like ace 9 suited, king 9 suited, queen 10 suited and above. And then pocket 7s and above, king jack off, ace 10 off. 9-3 on the button, I think we can open it. Oh, we are facing and raise, so we will fold. That was a hijack open. And we get the same exact hand twice. Interesting. This would be a bit too wide to open and from cutoff. Even on the button, it would have been an iffy open. We'll just let that go. Try to be patient here. We're up about 4 big blinds. It's not bad. So we'll just take our time. Try to make smart decisions. For those joining, just playing some 2-cent, 5-cent hold'em, trying to work our way up on our bankroll challenge. Just playing 1 table right now. Probably work our way up to 2 tables. So we win a few more in our bankroll challenge. This is an interesting pot. We do get an all-in from player 3, and he takes it. About a 64 big blind pot, so that was pretty big for the number 2 to lose. Alright, so pocket 3s is going to fold to a raise. That is a-okay here. Interestingly, in that spot, if I had 6-5 suited, I would have 3-bet. That must just be a bluff. Not entirely sure why that's in there. Alright. So, queen 9, under the gun, pretty sure we let this go. Yeah. This has been a pretty tight table. We haven't seen, I mean, there was that one big kind of all-in hand we saw a couple hands ago, but other than that, looking at the percentages, everybody's 30 or below. So it does make it for a much more challenging time. We do get some wildness here, so we've already worked our way up to a pot of 30 big blinds. We have an ace high on the board, and now it's paired. And any 2 clubs still has a draw here. See, there's a bet on the paired board. The clubs don't get there. But I think given the pre-flop action, I would expect somebody to have an ace or a king here. Probably ace-king from player 6, possibly. We'll see if I want player 5 to call now. Come on, guy. You're new at the table. You don't know that this guy is actually... Well, actually, we don't know much about player 6 either. Okay, he takes it down. A little gutsy. But it worked. So, From the big blind, 7-6 offsuit is basically never going to call here, so we will just check through and fold to a bet. Just playing boring poker, trying to boring but optimal poker. That is the goal here. Not trying to do any Phil Hellmuth crazy stuff here. I did end up watching the Phil Hellmuth match. It was actually pretty fun to watch. He did win, which I'm sure upset a lot of people on the internet. The other guy was favored quite heavily in the betting markets. Alright, so small blind, 10-7 offsuit is not gonna open. We will just fold. And 5-2 from the button, suited. Well, it might be first hand, but it's not gonna 3-bet. We'll let that go. So our player 5 left after he lost to that ace king, and we haven't gotten anyone to fill him yet. Actually, I think this is a fold here. Yep. Hopefully we get somebody else at the table and fill up that last seat. We do get raised when we are big blind. I think chart says not to call this. I'm gonna call it on a small percentage. Let's say it's like 80 or above. No. We let it go. That's fine. Queen 8 from the small blind. Now, we would have opened this, but versus an open from earlier, I think we just have to let it go. See if somebody else is going to play. Hopefully this isn't going to be too boring of a session. We'll get some more interesting hands soon here. Been doing a fair amount of folding. We do get button, but cards aren't that great for the button. Queen 6 offsuit, we are just gonna let go. Probably could have raised and bluffed there. That's alright. And king 3 is an offsuit's an auto fold. Definitely seems like a tight table, so we can start bluffing here at a small percentage, I think. From the low jack, a king 7 offsuit's gonna fold. Maybe what we'll do is we'll start checking the RNG and start bluffing at like an 80 or above, regardless of what we have when we're in position. Just there we were out of position, so we're gonna let it go. Now, king 7 in the big blind, definitely not great. But choice is made for us. We take it, move on to the next hand. Get 9-7 suited in the small blind. Not quite good enough to call in most places. Now when the button opens, we're just gonna let this go. And let that one go as well. Certainly would have been interesting to try and play that, but this is just, we're just not getting a lot of good cards again. We get 3-bet again from the cutoff. We'll just let this go. I shouldn't really have to think about that. 10-4 suited is just not good, not in any good defending range. I definitely need to work on memorizing my ranges. I think right now I still have them open in front of me, which is a little bit of a crutch. Threes on the low jack. Let's check the RNG. Above 80, we'll raise it. No. And 9-6 offsuit, again, not great at all. And from the big blind, it's annoying, but yeah, I think we just let it go. Hey, thank you for the follow, Franz Lopez, appreciate it. We are playing some 2 cent, 5 cent, so we're just having some fun. We actually got a playable hand here, so we are going to 3-bet our button position here and see what he does. And he lets us take it, which is fine by me. We have not actually 3-bet, I don't think, a single time since we played, so I would expect him to get pretty scared there. The under the gun does open, and with 10-9, let it go. That was one where I kind of would have liked to play it, but it's not really in our range in that spot, so. Trying to, again, just stick with the math and not play the Philhelmuth hands like 6-4 offsuit or East 4 offsuit. 3-betting and 4-betting random numbers. We're not doing that here, unfortunately. We're gonna try to make money and not lose it. All right. So we've been at this table for about 40 hands so far, 36 hands, and we are starting to get some statistics on our opponents, and definitely noticing that every opponent here is tight. The loosest player has a VPIP of 29%, which is, I mean, even a pro would tell you that 30% is too high, but we've been on other streams with people with 50, 70% VPIP, so relatively speaking, these are sane players. Now player 3 has been doing a lot of limping, so we should be able to exploit him a little bit there. We did get a 3-bet in against player 6, and he folded, which was nice. So at least people are kind of respecting our raises right now. And I think part of that is just that we kind of have a tight table image at the moment, just because we have not been getting very good cards. I'm going to fold ace-3 under the gun. It is not quite good enough. We let player 6 take it, and now we are in big blind, and again, pretty bad cards here. We'll just roll it with the punches. Maybe we can, so when the dealer chip comes to us, let's try bluffing just based on the RNG. If it's 80 or above, we're gonna bluff it when the dealer chip comes to us. We'll re-roll it, obviously. Right now it updates every minute, but that's not quite enough. Now king 9 to a this is the hijack opens, and we are in the small blind, and a king 9 offsuit is definitely not good enough. Fold. See what happens here. All right. So 80 or above, I'm gonna roll. We get a 53. And Jack 7 normally. Offsuit is just not in our range, so that's alright. Makes for a little bit boring of a stream. Maybe we can roll it again in the cutoff and see what happens. Depending on our cards here. If we're on the edge. Jack 6 offsuit doesn't feel quite good enough. Let's roll it anyways. 75 or above. Nope. Okay. I feel like it knows. Like, hey, you're making a bad decision. I'm gonna tell you not to bluff. Okay. And he raises anyway, so I think we would have been in trouble there. Alright, now we don't need an RNG to tell us to raise this. And when the under the gun opens with hijack, king queen suited, we are gonna 3-bet it here. Now, this happened earlier, different spots, but I 3-bet player 6 and he folded last time. So let's see if he calls this time. He might. He might be thinking, oh no, okay, we take it. Take it down again. Very interesting. So our bad luck comes into play and gives us a tight table image, and player 6 folds to our 3-bet. Either that or they just don't know how to deal with 3-bets. Maybe they're just recreational players and they're just scared. I don't know. Now player 5's like trying to he's like, oh, that guy can 3-bet. Okay, maybe I can do it. Maybe let me try. And it worked. It got him the pot. So kudos to him. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Is that what they say? We might actually be able to limp here with ace 10. In the small blind. Yeah, this the chart says limp is okay here. And not a great spot. 2 other people in the pot as well, so we have to be even more careful. Interesting. We do get a flush draw. I'm actually going to bet here and just maybe scare them off. It's a pretty small size bet, only 50%, so they don't really need that much to continue, but instead they just give it to us. Nice, and we would have gotten there anyways, so don't feel too bad about it. Just turns out that no one had a heart. Nice, that worked out. We're not gonna... Sorry, missed player 6, we're not gonna 3-bet you this time. Maybe the big blind will want to play with you though. No, no one does. Okay. So we're back in position, but we have a pretty crappy hand. It's possible that people are upset that I took that pot, so we'll let it go. 7-3 is not a very playable hand anyways. Even as a bluff, it would be bad, I think. Normally with a bluff you want, like if you're bluffing before the river, you should have some equity. And 7-3 is going to have very, very little equity here. So we do are in the position to open. The cutoff 8-10 is open, is in our range, so we're going to open it and see if we get any takers. This guy might be a little pissed about us taking the pot on that flush, but no, he lets it go. I'm a little surprised that we're getting the respect that we're getting. I feel like it's not exactly earned. Just people are just folding to us a lot. It does mean that when we do get called, we should be a little more weary. But it does mean that we can probably take stabs at pots a little more often, or occasion. Yeah, I don't know. We could theoretically open our range to try and exploit the amount of tightness. But that being said, then we can get counter-exploited. And in this case, the counter-exploit would be somebody actually has a monster, right? So instead, we will just try to stick to optimal poker, I think. don't think we need to exploit that much or widen, go too crazy. But we can maybe make some small adjustments. In this case, we do see an interest. So player 5 learned how to 3-bet from us, which is nice. And he's actually applying our strategy to different spots, not just pre-flop. And so he 3-bet here previously and got called, and now he bets again, he gets called. I'm wondering if he has quads. I very, very much doubt it, but he is betting pretty monster hands. He puts this guy into an all-in spot. So does player 3 call and go all in on a board with 3 sevens? And he does have quad sevens. Ouch. Ouch. And that is why you have to be wary, because they could have it. All right, 50 or above we play. And we do play. And player 5 over here, or player whichever he was, got so pissed he left. Which is understandable. I would be pretty ticked if I lost to quads as well. Alright. I mean, that felt like the most exciting hand so far, and we weren't even in it. Alright. Jack 7, not gonna play. Sorry, guy. Not good enough. And neither is Jack 6. So, you know, sometimes you wish you were the guy with the quad sevens. Feel like we were last session. Last session we doubled our buy-in pretty handily, and feel like maybe the luck's run out a little bit. So instead we kind of just gotta get the table scraps, which we haven't been doing that bad a job. We're up 17 big blinds, over 50 hands. That's decent. What's interesting is that I don't think I've gone to showdown at all. So everybody is folding before the showdown. Here. Now we're missing 2 people, so the table dynamics are changing quite a bit with only 4 people. It means we're probably going to need to widen our range a bit. It does make me a little nervous because I haven't really studied anything other than just 6 players at a table. So it is a shortcoming on my end. We do get a new player though, so maybe we don't have to worry about it too much. We are in the big blind with 10-9 offsuit, and we just take it. And we actually could have called there if he had raised. But instead now we are in the small blind with King 5. I'm going to roll it. 75 or above, we'll go. No. I'm telling you, that RNG really does not want us to play. It only told us to play once in like the 5 or 6 times we've asked it. Alright, Ace 5 suited. We will open that. Let's see what happens here. Well, the big blind, okay, big blind folds. We steal the blinds, and we move on. And now, cut off with Ace Jack is another openable hand. I bet they think I'm tilted or something at this. I mean, opening 2 hands in a row, maybe they think I'm impatient or something? I don't know. Find out. Does the big blind call me? No. We take another set of blinds, move up to almost 120 big blinds, and then we'll fold this. Interesting. So very tight players today. Don't have anybody over 20% VPIP right now. So there's a lot of folding going on. So it is definitely tempting to try and exploit that. I think that using the RNG is the way to go. Just have the RNG limit our bluffing and to a reasonable amount, and then that way it appears to the players that we're still somewhat tight. In the small blind with the 6-3 is probably not going to be good enough here. Well, oh, and the button opens, so we will fold it. I would have asked the RNG if we should have opened that, but the dealer made our decision for us. So. Now we're in position. We have Jack 9. That is playable. So we will open it. And we have 0 data on player 3. We know that player 2 is super, super tight, the tightest at the table, with less than 10% VPIP. And this guy is probably not happy that we that he probably doesn't have anything. So we'll just bet 50% again and see what he does. I haven't really been adjusting my bet sizes a whole lot. Now, taking a look at the board, there are 2 clubs, so there's theoretically a backdoor club draw, a flush draw there, but I think otherwise, you know, 5-6 or 5-7 also could be a straight draw. I think I'm just going to make this more expensive for him to continue. We go 2/3 pot bet instead of 50% pot bet. And we take it. Nice. The paired board could have been trouble there. Well, I guess we don't know what he had, so not sure why he called on the flop and folded on the turn. Maybe he just had some very, very weak draw, like an ace. Maybe he had ace king, like ace or a king, ace x, king x, queen x, and he was hoping for an ace or a queen because then he probably would have bet out. And he just didn't want to gamble for 2 streets in a row. I mean, I think our job was made pretty easy when we flopped 2 pair, so I don't think there's a lot of strategy there. We just got lucky, but it was interesting that he folded turn, but called river, or called flop. And so we are slowly working our way up and getting that graph up and to the right, just little by little. It does seem to be a lot easier to play against tight players than maniac drunkards. So that's actually, I guess, kind of surprising, but kind of good. I say kind of good because I think that, you know, tight players are what we're probably going to see a lot more at the higher stakes. So, but I guess these guys are like tight passive, whereas at higher stakes we're going to see tight aggressive. But all right, pocket aces, here we go. Off to the races. We will basically just 3-bet anybody who puts in money in the pot. And we get a limp. Do we call the limp? No. So we're gonna 3-bet this guy. We're gonna go to 15 big blinds. He's probably gonna be really mad. And we'll see what he does, because we've done this to this guy. Now this is gonna be the 3rd time we've 3-bet him. And he folds to us again. Brutal, buddy. When are you gonna call me, man? You gotta see what I have at some point, right? I could just keep doing this to you every time. I could be doing it with junk, you don't know. Alright, we're gonna fold 5-3 to a raise. And see what happens here. Alright. So, Jack 4 in the button. I lost the RNG if it's oh. Now he's mad. So cutoff opens in the button, Jack 4 is definitely a fold. I shouldn't have even had to look that up. think I just got nervous. Oh, but he gets a call. Player 6 gets a call. It's not from us. He does get a call. The fact that he's folded to us every single time to a 3-bet is kind of surprising. We've seen him play 56 hands so far. And he keeps making 3-bets pretty often. His pre-flop raise percentage is 20%. He's 21-19. 21% played pots, 19% pre-flop raise. So he's almost pre-flop raising every single time he plays. And, but he's folded to us every single time we've 3-bet him. So that's something. We will open this. All right, and we just take it down. So we are covering our big blinds. I mean, even though we're putting in a big blind and a half every orbit, we're making it up, and our graph is up and to the right. So, and we're doing that by just taking down pots pre-showdown. I think almost every single pot we've won has not gone to showdown so far. Which again is not normal. This is not a normal session. Normally we have crazies at the table wanting to go all in all the time, or wanting to limp every hand. And we haven't really seen a lot of limps. We haven't really seen a lot of all-ins. We've seen one or two since we sat down, but that's about it. And we haven't been involved in any. So. Now this one's interesting because there's definitely some straight draws on the board here. A 7 makes a straight. Any 7 makes a straight. A jack has an open-ended straight draw. Now the 2's a brick, obviously, but player 5 is going to lead out anyways. And player 6 has got to be tired of losing to everybody. Let's see what he does here. Is he going to fold again? Wow. He gives his money away again. Okay. Not gonna say anything. I mean, we'll just keep letting you put your money away, man. I say man, I realize I gotta work on my gender neutral language. I said man to one of the chatters yesterday, and I feel bad because I don't actually know. I should be. It's just a force of habit growing up in Southern California. So, gotta realize I gotta work on that. Okay, so we are in the big blind. We have absolutely nothing. Is this guy gonna fold to us and let us take it? I think if he raises, do we call? No. We'll let it go. I'm sure he's like... He's like, yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Okay. We have 5-3. Can't do much. Now we're gonna be... Okay, he raises again. I feel like he's like tilted or something, but we just don't have the cards to gamble with him. If we had something a little more marginal, maybe a suited connector, we might play ball, but we're gonna let him take the small pots here. And ace-5 offsuit, facing a raise from the low jack. This one we do not play. Oh, and we get a call from the small blind. A little unusual because he's going to be out of position. And what does he do with his out of position? He checks. Check back. There are 3 spades on the board. Based on the fact that they're all checking through, I guess neither of them have any face cards or spades. Oh, okay. And 1-bet takes it down. Wonder what he had. That was interesting. So very passive play. I mean, I guess a monotone board isn't usually bet according to GTO, or it's bet light. That's something where I should, I finished my book, but I haven't spent time summarizing my notes. And that's what I really need to do, is work through all my notes on my Modern Poker Theory book and try to kind of make myself a cheat sheet. That's something that my partner said that they did in college all the time, is that they would take notes and that, like, during, you know, while they're reading or while they're listening, and then they would go back and re-summarize their notes and basically like make new notes out of the old notes. I'd never heard of that. I didn't know that was a thing. I probably could have studied a lot better in college if I had known that was a thing. But no, I didn't. I did not know that that was a thing. And so I mentioned that I was like, hey, I'm thinking of like going back and making myself a cheat sheet, and they're like, yeah, that's a thing. Anyways, I think we fold queen 3, unfortunately. So anyways, that's you know, I've finished the Modern Poker Theory book. It's also really interesting, like watching some of the like higher level streamers, and people will ask these higher level poker players like what the best book is, and like every single person says Modern Poker Theory, every single one without fail, and is the best book so far. So we did good by getting the book and reading through it, and I feel like we learned a fair amount, but it's starting to slip, I think. And so I think I need to go back and kind of restudy, review my notes, and make sure that I'm still keeping up to date. I am also going through the Red Chip Poker forum, or Red Chip Poker course, the core course right now. So I'm doing... I kind of want to finish that before I switch to something else. But it just seems like that Modern Poker Theory book is just so valuable that it's really almost worth going back just by virtue of the fact that I'm playing poker every day. I need to like make sure that information is fresh in my head all the time. It's just as a testament to how awesome of a book that guy wrote, for sure. Okay, so we are under the gun. We are out of position. We have ace queen offsuit, so this is a call. And we'll check to the preflop raiser. Expect he's going to bet again. So I guess the question is, what do we do if he bets here? And, you know, we have flush draw, but it's a backdoor flush draw, so it's only 4%. And we have basically 2 pairs. So that's going to be 6 outs. And that's turn or river, so that's 24%. So we have about 30% equity. And he's giving us 25% pot odds, so we'll call. And we do get a potential flush draw here. So I think we check again and see what he does. I can't imagine, based on the fact that he 3-bet us, I can't imagine... I mean, maybe he has 9 jack? I don't know. Okay. So we have very little equity here. I'm willing to try and bluff here. So let's see if the RNG says we are at... The RNG is 80, we bluff. If it's not, we check. No, okay, so we're gonna check. Ace king versus ace queen, all right. I think he calls there, regardless of what we do. I think it's good that we didn't 4-bet because, so I would say we lost kind of the minimal amount there. We called once and then checked through twice. We are back down quite a bit though, so that's a bummer. Probably going to end the session positive, but not very much. And he just kind of outplayed us on the cards, or like, you know, he just had better cards than us. The one time that we get ace queen, he gets ace king suited. So that's all right. I suppose we could, because we had our calling range is lower than his range. Like his range is uncapped. He had the polarized uncapped range. We had the condensed capped range. Theoretically, given that information, the flop actually favored us more. So we could have bet more. But all that being said, ace-king suited is probably not going to fold no matter what. I mean, I say that, I don't really know that for sure, but I have a hard time imagining him getting off that hand. Especially at these lower stakes. I think higher stakes, you might be smart enough to let it go. But kind of like how, you know, I got blinded and lost a bunch of money when I had aces. Like, these guys are going to do the same thing and just not give up ace-king or ace-ace. So we can, I'm definitely going to mark that in our review pile, and we will punch it in our, we'll review it when it gets to it. See what time is it? 4:12 right now. Probably go for another, we'll go until 4:30 and then we'll switch into reviewing hands mode. Don't quite feel like we're tilted quite yet. Now we are facing a raise from the hijack, and we have ace-jack offsuit. We're gonna fold. We're actually not. We're facing a 3-bet. So I don't think there's any reason to call a 3-bet from cutoff. No, with h-jack off, it is not in our range. Now this guy is in the mood to gamble. Yeah, that's gonna kill me. I wonder if we would have taken it if we had bet heavy on the river. I don't... Maybe 50-50? I don't know. It's too bad we just didn't make anything either. Like, we had some draws. But I guess he counterfeits most draws. The only thing that we're actually winning that hand with is a queen, right? If it's an ace, he's winning anyways, so... We were probably not in a very good position there. We just did not realize it. King 7? Low jack? Yeah. Oh, let's roll it. 80 or above, we play it. Nope. Man, that RNG is really conservative every time we press the button. It says no. Don't waste your money, guy. Alright. Ace queen, and again, an ace queen offsuit. So let's see if we're going to get in trouble again with this hand. So we will, well, is there any reason? I think we just call. They're going to raise us. I mean, I feel bad, but yeah, we're going to do the dick move and re-raise him. Probably thinking... Okay, so we 2-bet. No, he 2-bet. I 3-bet. He 4-bet. Do I call ace? Yeah, I think I call here. I'm sure we both have aces. Question is, does he have more than that? Does he have like ace king or ace ace? I mean, the pot's so big. Do I just check through here? I mean, I'm in position. We now have a straight draw. There's no flushes on the board. If he has king queen, he's got his beat, but is he really 4-betting with king queen? Man. I think we have king queen here when we call, so I'm gonna just go all in and see what he does. He probably has speed. No, he doesn't. He gives up the pot. Wow. Was he just upset that we had been stealing his... we had been re-raising him earlier in the day, and he was just like so pissed that he just gave us a bunch half his stack? Is that what happened? I'm gonna mark that one as review. That was weird. But I'll take your money, guy. I don't know. I will take your money. But I won't feel great about it. We're not gonna play with him again. He tilted? Is that what's going on? I think that's the first time that a bluff has gone through. I mean, that was a semi-bluff, right? That was a semi-bluff. I think that's fair to say. We had some equity, but we definitely did not have the nuts. And we definitely were not betting for value. And yeah, he seems to be tilted. So let's watch what he does. And he has the magical 666 big blinds. So I think, oh, and nobody wants to play with him. They all saw that number and they were scared. So 9-6 offsuit is again not good enough to play. I'm almost debating just getting out at this point. It feels like we should just go off on a high note. And we have ace-6 under the gun. Actually, yeah. Actually, so it's 50 or above we play. Okay. It's right on the edge there. We get a call? I bet this guy's gonna like re-raise this because he's so mad. No, we don't. Interesting. Okay, so what are our odds here? Well, we bet half pot, so 25%. And flush draw, turn a river is 35%, so we call. And we do make the nut flush. He's got to have two other hearts, so let's just re-raise him and see what he does here. Is he gonna go crazy? Gonna go all in? Gonna call? What does he do here? Did we catch him bluffing? I feel like this bet is pretty face up. You gotta be thinking, oh well, he just made the other heart. He's gotta have it, right? But maybe he saw me bluff earlier? Or get through on that hand against player 6 and he thinks that I was full of it? He doesn't believe me? I honestly don't know. I suspect he has king something of hearts. I bet he has a lower flush. Come on, call, dude. Don't just time out. Call. We want to take your money, man. No, we don't. Okay. Maybe I got greedy there? Is that what happened? Oh boy, I hope they all in. Yeah, I know, right? That was close. I feel like it was definitely close. And this guy's probably now tilted. Player 6 has got to be tilted watching me take everybody's money here. Or watching me take his money and his neighbor's money. That was interesting. I'm definitely starting to get tired here, so I feel like I should probably call it pretty soon. Then I see double up, or I see quad 2s. Yeah. Alright, so small blind, yeah, we'll open this. The other guy is super tight, so I expect him to fold here. He does. There's actually, this has been kind of exciting. I mean, been like 2 or 3 big hands here. There's a couple big straight lines on our graph today. All right. Yeah, so I think I said 4:30 that I'm gonna call it, so I think I'll stick to that. That means we got about 9 minutes left. Try not to focus too much on the clock. Maybe get some sugar in me while I'm waiting here. We do have a reasonably sized pot growing here. We wouldn't have had much. Got shot straight draw with the 6, but and now player 3 makes a pot size bet. We get a call, and we get a second 8, which makes things pretty dangerous here. Just because there was the straight draw, so it's definitely possible that either one has an 8. And yeah, we get an all in. So let's see what happens here. Is player 6 gonna be frustrated and fold again? That's what he's been doing on these big hands. We'll see if he does it again, his signature move. The bet, fold. I mean, man, these players are so tight today. Oh no, it's a call. Wow, and he had the straight. And the straight wins it. What are you calling a lower straight? Is that what you're calling with there? Or a 3 of a kind? Not entirely clear. I'm gonna put that in the reviewer, just because it was kind of interesting. I would be interested to solve that or put it in Flopzilla and see what's going on here. Hijack, Queen 10 off. We will roll it. 50 or above, we play it. Nope. Yeah, the RNG is very conservative today. I've actually been kind of having fun using it today. And I feel like I've been using it wisely, trying to just say like, okay, I should only be doing an action like a small percentage of times in this spot. And that's been effective. Okay, so Queen 2 in the low jack, definitely not good enough. I just wish you could have like, alright, I got some dice actually before I had this program that had the actual RNG on it. I bought some dice to actually use while I was streaming, but I can also just use them for game nights and stuff, so it's not a complete loss. But anyways, I was thinking that it's hard not being able to have an RNG in real life, like you're at dinner and you're like, should I respond to this political comment that's out of line? Okay, well, 80 or above. Okay. All right, so big blind facing a raise from the cutoff with 7/8. We're not gonna call. He's also the other big stack here, so we kind of just got to steer clear of him a little bit. And yeah, we'll go in here. But 7-3 offsuit, we'll just fold. Click the fold button and move on. All right, 6 offsuit, and the button is no go. Player 6 going to try to get revenge against player 3 here? We will see. Is he going to bet, or is he just timing out because he has a bad internet connection? Well, no. Okay, he does bet. He's going to get called by his nemesis. Player 6 did cap up, or top off. So he's back to 100 big blind stack, which means he went to the cashier, he asked for more chips, and then he sat back down, thinking, I want revenge. And now's his chance. He's heads up with player 3, who has most of his money. But it's just check. Check, 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 check. So now there are 4 spades on the board. See if either player gets lucky and had an extra spade in their hand, and it does not appear that either player had a spade, and so it goes to the jacks. Back to player 6. But he did not get any money out of that interaction. Or I should say very little. Alright. Under the gun, or sorry, we are cut off with queen 8. 50 or above, we play it. Nope. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, 64 Ninja. Appreciate it, man. Sorry I didn't catch your stream today. I kind of worked actually all through lunch. A little exhausting. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to have energy for streaming today, but I rallied. Probably just going to cook some dinner after this and try to take it easy. And definitely a weird flop for us. I think... Do we call or do we check here? Big blind certainly has more 8s than us. 21% pot odds, I think we'll call. Now we are a 3-way, so that was actually probably a bad call. And I think we just shut down here with an ace now. The fact that everybody checked the ace is a little weird, but now it looks like it's just going to be a delayed bet. I think we'll just let him have it. Not going to battle him out there when there's 2 overcards to our pair. I'm sure we have a fair amount of equity there, but you don't see these people at small stakes bet big very often unless they have something. So I'm guessing they have at least middle pair or above and have a speed. And unfortunately, queens there is just that. It's a weak pair. That is something I think I need to work on, is calling certain spots more, but I need to kind of review and figure out like when and where it's to be. Alright, well, it's 4:30, so I think we'll call it. Let's take a look at some hands. So, ooh. Okay. Let's filter for... Okay. Wait, can I... Sorry, I'm rearranging everything on my screen as we're talking here. Okay. There we go. Good. So... some weird hands here. Take a look. Well, what should we do? Should we look at our winner and see if we did the right thing there? Or should we look at our loser? Let's look at our loser. Now, we obviously didn't know that he had ace-king, so we'll pretend to not know. and just based it off ranges. So based off of the ranges, so we are in under the gun and we raise, and he is in the cutoff and he re-raises. Then we call. So we have a spade, queen, diamond, and he is. Now we'll look up our data for this spot. So in this case, he calls. No, sorry, he raises. This is a 3 or 4 bet in the cutoff. So this is actually his range here. And so I think maybe in the moment, I don't think I had visualized this range. This is maybe something I need to memorize, is some of these like ranges that represent like the hands that people have here. And so, yeah, even with this range, like not even counting the flop, like I'm at 47%. So I'm already basically considered a weak hand. If we're the way to like the Modern Poker Theory book kind of divides hands in like, or divides this percentage into 25% like quarters. And so it would say 0 to 25 is the trash, 25 to 50 is weak, 50 to 75 is good, and 75 to 100 is strong. And so when I say weak, it has a very specific meaning. So even ace queen offsuit here is weak because of the range of our villain. And so, and then the flop comes 4, 10, 7. And so it actually hits our range better, but let's, sorry. Here we go. 4, 10, 7. So we are now back to, oh, so we lowered. We are now down to 33.8%. So I was thinking that we were doing pretty good on that flop, considering we had a diamond and we had 2 overs. But considering that he has so many pocket pairs, like pocket pairs are such a big percentage of his hand, and the other cards, most of them like beat us. So I guess it makes sense that our equity goes down, but that was, I guess this is something I need to work on, is spots where we are calling a 3-bet. So he bets and we call. Now, was that call profitable? And I think the answer is yes, based on the pot odds. Showing 24% pot odds, and we have 33% equity. Now, I'm sure that's going to go down if we filter and say, well, he probably has at least, like, let's say he has most of these draws, and then let's say he's, like, bluffing 30% of the time. And so if we do that, yeah, our equity is still down to 28%, but 28 versus 24. 28 is higher, so we made the profitable call. Now, the 8 of diamonds comes up. Our equity stays about the same, 27%. I did not expect that, but I guess that makes sense because we don't actually have the flush, so we are still just drawing to the flush. And I check, and he checks. And then the 3 of club comes. So we have 9% equity. And I check, he checks. And then he shows ace king. So I think we played that reasonably. If anything, we just didn't really need to bet that big on the turn, or sorry, on the flop with 4, 10, 7. Or sorry, we didn't need to call his bet. just because it was pretty marginal. Like this is 20, like our pot odds are about even basically. So it's still it's still a call, but it's a break even situation where like at best we are breaking even. And so yeah. Anyways, when these two numbers are really close, the pot odds and our equity, that means that, you know, if we do the same bet a million times, we're still not going to actually come out all that much. Like we'll still come out positive, but it won't be ahead by very much. And so this was just kind of like a marginal situation where, yeah, the numbers justify our call, but it doesn't feel great. Okay. So that was one big thing, a big hand. Now that hand got me thinking about the other ace-queen hand, which we ended up winning. And I'm trying to remember how exactly we won. So let's check this out. So small blind raises. We re-raise. He re-raises, and we call. Okay. I also need to mark this as what in the world did he have. Okay. Now, given our, let's check our ranges here. So he 4-bet us. Gotta be something like somewhere like this, maybe. I don't think he's polarized. I think he's just gotta have a strong hand, right? So if he has something like this, and it comes down ace-5 jack, ace-5 jack, and we have queen, ace of spades. Yeah. We have 61% equity. So kind of strange. 61% equity when not filtering. We bet, he calls. Okay, so the fact that he calls means I think we should have, we can legitimately filter some of these things. I think he's got to have something like pocket pair or better, and we include all of his draws. So our equity goes down to 57%. 10 of spades comes up. Our equity goes massively down from 57 to 33%. And that's because he's going to have so many straights. 24% of the possible, so he has basically all the king queens make it. All the aces, jacks, and tens are now sets. All the ace jacks are now 2 pairs. And obviously all the aces are pairs, top pairs. And so we massively, but we bluff and get it. I still don't entirely understand why he bluffs there when he supposedly has improved massively. So my only inclination is that maybe he just has something, another like weird range where maybe he's like, he has some bluffs. Something like this. In which case, it's a coin flip. I can believe that. I can believe he has some bluffs and it's a coin flip. Because he was on my left and we kind of had this back and forth the whole game where he would bet and I would re-raise him. So he just seemed like maybe he just wanted to try the old re-raise without actually doing it with any good cards. I think I mean, and he doesn't do it with king queen either because king queen makes the straight. So maybe he thinks we have king queen, and that's what I was thinking. I think I chose to represent the king queen, which would have been reasonable given my call at the pre-flop, his 4-bet. and especially like king queen of clubs. I'd be really curious to see what he had. Maybe tomorrow I'm definitely gonna check that one and see if I can get the logs for that. So we take it down, and we take down a 92 big blind pot. Wow. On a bluff. That's pretty good. Alright. I think I'm gonna call it for today. Make some dinner. Thank you, 64 Ninja, for hanging out and chit-chatting. Appreciate it.